Listen, I realize how difficult it is to change your life. I've been there. When I was incarcerated on felony drug charges back in 2008, I was hopeless. I was in the depths of despair. I didn't think I would live to see my 25th birthday. I thought all the things, and I thought the world was against me. I felt like a failure. I felt like I wasn't going to make it in life. And thankfully, I'm on the other side of that, and it's been 17 years, since the day I reported to jail on my 21st birthday. And I want to share some insights, some tips, because if I had to do it all over again, I'm going to share the blueprint of what I would do to dramatically transform my life in a month. And I say a month, not that your life will be 100% better in a month, not that everything will be different, but I think that when you are transforming your life, it's important to see success somewhat early on so that it keeps you motivated and inspired to keep going. And there's certain things you can do to help you along the way. So I'm going to share what I would do if I had to do it all over again. And a lot of it is very similar to the way I did it, just in a more organic way. The first thing is I would develop hyper self awareness around the situation. I would become aware of everything. I would become aware of what it was that I was facing. Back when I was incarcerated and I was leaving jail, there was a lot of hopelessness inside of me because I had proven to myself that I was a failure up until that point of going to jail. There was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of fear of failure. There was all those things. And once I became aware of that and those limiting beliefs, I figured out ways to navigate through. I figured out that if I could just take things one day at a time, that would improve my outlook on life. I realized that if I did certain things, that would give me a chance to not be a failure anymore, whatever it was, right? But I had awareness around these limiting beliefs, and I was so scared the day I left jail. So scared. I was terrified. I was like, am I going to go back? Am I going to fail a drug test? Am I going to disappoint my family yet again? But I knew that if I thought that way, that I was guaranteed to lose because I was essentially telling myself that the game was over and I lost. But since I had awareness around those feelings, I was able to say, okay, like, yeah, it's normal to feel that way, but here's what you can do instead. And that's exactly what I would do now. I would become aware of the situation. I would say, what's against me? What can I control? What can't I control? And what are some simple things that I can do every single day to move the needle forward? That's awareness, is becoming aware of the situation and aware of your ability to course correct. And then I would also become aware of my feelings, my emotions, my mood, times when I'm stressed, anxious, so that I could understand not only like why I'm feeling that way. So like if I didn't sleep well and I'm run down, there's awareness there, right? Because you're like, okay, I'm feeling run down. Maybe it's because I didn't sleep well last night, but also because you can understand like how you can navigate through that in a way that's efficient. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make early on in their transformation is they're so used to dealing with problems with instant gratification, right? If you're watching my content, if you're watching content on transformation, there's a chance that you've had a problem with it, with instant gratification in your life. And I share this because if you're not careful, you will choose things to instantly gratify you when you're going through hard times in your transformation because that's what you're used to doing. So when you become aware of your emotions and your behaviors and your habits, and then the follow-up behavior and habit, it's a game-changing thing because you begin to identify like what is it that you're feeling and then how are you typically responding, and then you can course correct, right? So like if I had to do it all over again, I would develop awareness around that. I would be like, okay, like I would make sure that times when I was stressed, that I have a plan for like doing things that I knew would make me feel better, that wouldn't make things worse. That I have an understanding of my role in certain things, so that way I could figure out ways to make it better. Like that self awareness is just being able to be aware of your patterns, your behaviors, your habits, and then in the bigger picture, it's like your life. It's like where can I course correct? What adjustments can I make? Because if you lack self awareness, you will have a really hard time changing your life because a lot of almost all of transforming your life, it comes down to your ability to let go of past behaviors and stop blaming people for your problems and escape that victim mindset and move into 100% accountability. And it doesn't mean that what happened to you or what went on in your life, there wasn't some unfairness there. It just means that if someone's going to change it, it's got to be you. If someone's going to course correct your future, it's got to be you. And so having awareness around that is super important. And when it comes to awareness, it's also how can you improve the way you take responsibility for your own actions and your behaviors, like in real time. It's being able to own up to mistakes. It's being able to say, I'm sorry. It's being able to forgive yourself and all the things like that also is self-awareness. It's like if you do something or say something that you shouldn't have said or done, it's like, do you have the awareness to be able to admit that and be aware of that and to see that? Because if you don't, again, it's going to be really hard to change your life. The second thing that I would focus on is fitness. And when I talk about fitness, I'm not talking about spending hours at the gym. I'm not talking about, becoming an Olympic athlete. I'm not talking about becoming a bodybuilder. I'm talking about finding a way that you can consistently move your body to make you better mentally, physically, and emotionally. Because when you're looking to change your life, a lot of times what happens is people are focused on the past. They are focused on all the mistakes they made. They're focused on all the things that went wrong. They're focused on that past version of themselves. They're focused on all that's behind them. Fitness keeps you focused on the future. Fitness keeps you, looking ahead to different goals and different things you're doing and improving yourself. Fitness is the path to self-improvement. And so I say this because, when you're looking to change things in your life and you're looking to rebuild your life from rock bottom, what you're really looking to do is improve your self-confidence, improve your outlook on life, give yourself some hope. And with fitness, it helps you do that. And here's a few reasons why. Obviously, there's physical benefits to working out. I'm not going to get into those specifically right now because I think what's more important for this is a lot of the mental and emotional and life benefits. And for one thing, it's the ability to embrace discomfort is very important that fitness does. And I say this not that like you have to bench like 300 pounds in order to do this. It's more like if you're somebody who hasn't exercised in a while, it's very uncomfortable to start exercising. It's very uncomfortable to walk into the gym for the first time in 5 years. It's very uncomfortable to put on your shoes and go for a walk if you haven't moved your body in 5 years. It's very uncomfortable to take a group exercise class when you haven't done so in a period of time. And when you do that, you build self-confidence because now you're proving to yourself that you're betting on yourself, you believe in yourself, you're doing something that's uncomfortable, and you're realizing that you have more power and control than you think. Because when you end up giving in to discomfort and choosing, some of these unhealthy instant gratification patterns, what happens is you're teaching yourself that you can't handle hard things. And then whenever hard things happen in life, that's why people make these decisions, right? These bad decisions. And so fitness is a great tool for that. And what it also does is it's incremental progress, which again, I'm sharing things here that I think if you can implement, your life will change a lot in 30 days, but it's going to take some time after that. It's going to take some time to really, really move the needle. With fitness, here's the thing. And I'm going to use a very basic example so you can understand the principle of this. Now, I was a guy that could barely do a push-up from my knees when I was in jail. I could barely hold myself up. I could hardly walk up and down the steps. And being able to do that first push-up, it would be like me climbing Mount Everest today. It was so monumental. It was a foundational building block of my life today. And I say that because I went from 1 to 2 and then up to 10. And then, from there improved off of that. That principle can be applied to anyone. So like if you're somebody that hasn't, gone for a walk in 5 years, you put on your shoes, you're like, hey, I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk. Maybe I feel better, maybe I don't, but I just want to do it because I want to prove to myself that I'm taking care of my body. You do that, you come back. I mean, the odds are you're going to feel a lot better because you're going to say, I'm proud of myself for actually doing the thing. You're going to probably feel better just from the, little endorphin rush you may get from walking outside if you haven't been moving a lot. And you're just going to be like, man, I'm really proud of myself for not like choosing a bad habit. I chose a healthy one. And then like, if you do that again, then you're going to feel better. And then you're going to be like, oh, like this, I like doing this. Let's do more of it. So then that 5 minutes becomes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up. Maybe now in 3 months time, you're like running a mile or something. And it all started with that 5 minute walk. And what's that going to do for your self-confidence? It's going to do a tremendous amount of things. It's going to, improve the way you feel about yourself. It's going to improve your mood. It's going to improve your sleep. It's going to improve all these things, right? And so fitness is so important. Fitness is also great for establishing discipline. I was a guy before I went to jail who had 21 jobs by the time I was 21 years old. 21 jobs. And when I started to work out when I was in jail, it taught me discipline. It taught me that, I had to show up for myself even when I didn't feel like it. It taught me that, I had to just stay consistent in order to see goals. And that, transferred over into other areas of my life. I was able to finally hold a job for the first time in my life when I got out of jail. And a lot of that, if not all of that, I attribute it to fitness because I wasn't a disciplined person at all before that. If I wanted to quit a job, I would. I didn't embrace discomfort. I just kind of did whatever I wanted to, which is not a good way to live your life. And the other thing that fitness will do is, fitness helps you kind of recalibrate the way you deal with hard things. There's so many times where you hear people say like, oh my gosh, I just need to go for a walk. I need to get some fresh air. I need to like walk it off. And it's because like when you're stressed and you're feeling like, dysregulated, like one of the things you can do is just get your body moving and kind of change your state. So fitness is a must. And I think you have to find whatever works for you. If you're somebody who's already exercising, great, do more of it. If you're somebody that hasn't exercised in 5 years, just start with putting the shoes on, going outside for a 5 minute walk. If you're somebody that's like, hey, I want to be around people, cool, go take a group X class. There's so many things that you can do, but make sure there's something that you can stick to long term and build off of that. And fitness is also great for meeting new people. And this comes into number 3 is the third thing is you got to spend time with people that have common futures and not common pasts. And I say that because, it's really tough for people when they are transforming their life, specifically when they are younger, I think, because a lot of times you're just so immersed in socializing with people. And in many cases, your socialization is dependent around parties, going to bars, drugs, all these things. And so when you're, trying to change your life, it's like you're trying to change your lifestyle, your friends, all these things all at once. And it can become so overwhelming. And I get that. But I tell you, it's so worth it because what will end up happening is you're going to be like, there's going to be like 9 people around you and you're going to be the only one looking to transform your life. And eventually you won't be able to stick it out long enough. Eventually you'll go cave, right? Just because it's just you're a byproduct of your environment. Eventually like you're going to either feel guilty or you're going to feel sorry or whatever, or you're going to be pressured and people, end up, unfortunately falling back into patterns because of just the way that we're wired. We're wired to like connect with other people and be like other people so that when we're in those situations, that can tend to happen. And I think it's really important to have some sort of strategy to meet new people so that you're not like lonely. And the gym is a great place for that because when you're in the gym, there's people in there that are working on bettering themselves. They're in there, they're setting goals, they're forward thinking, they are in there to for self-improvement, to change their lives or whatever. And so you want to be around more people like that if you're looking to transform your life. You want to be around people that are going the same way that you're going. You don't want to be around people that are just stuck in their same ways and their same ways and their same habits. You want to be around people that are actually moving the needle forward in their life and people that lift you up. Because like if you are around people that are bringing you down, when I say bring you down, it's like if you're the person, you're going out and you're trying to stay healthy and everyone's like, why are you doing that? Or don't be a wuss or whatever people will say. Like they're not really your friends. I think you have to take a hard look at yourself and say, who are my real friends? And if they have your best interest at heart, cool, like keep them, but really make a conscious effort to meet new people. And the framework that I've used to do that is you want to be crystal clear about your goals and your values in your life. And you want to think about like, where do those people hang out? Is it the gym? Is it a coffee shop? Is it the library? I'm dating myself probably by saying that. Is it, like wellness centers? Like, where is it? And then start going to those places and then just slowly start introducing yourself to people along the way and just watch what happens. You'll be surprised at what happens by just randomly introducing yourself and talking to people and being authentic with that. So find ways to meet new people and make sure that your circle of people is elevating you, because you would be surprised with how much your circle impacts you, because your environment creates a false sense of normalcy. I talk about this a lot. If you are you and 10 other people, all you're doing is the same thing, partying, going to bars, the whole nine yards, like you're going to think that's normal because that's what's around you all the time. When you step out of that and you spend time with people that are doing other things, you slowly start to realize like, hey, like life can be a lot better if I choose to spend time with different people. I think it's so important. So you got to spend time with people that have common futures and not common past. Number 4 is I would find a way to get professional help and accountability. And I say this because, I mean, odds are if you are somebody that has really gone through hard times, there's going to be like stuff you got to work through. And I think seeking things like medical help and going to therapy or finding community support groups or hiring a coach, all these things can be very helpful because you have a guide to help you and you have accountability and you have somebody that's hopefully licensed and skilled enough to kind of help you course correct and hold you accountable, when things, aren't going your way, or just to be able to talk it out. Because I think that when you hold everything in, I think it rots and you start to kind of slowly waste away because you're just holding on to so much stuff, so many feelings, emotions, resentments, all the things. And I think when you start to process that in whatever way works for you, and you maybe talk to somebody, I think you start to melt, some of the pain. And then again, comes back to self-awareness, gain some self-awareness around certain things that are going on, and then find a way to effectively do so. And you can't do this by yourself. Like this is a journey that you have to go on with someone else. I think you got to be held accountable. You have to have community, like I said, that helps you better yourself. And I think it's a good thing when you can raise your hand and say, I need help. Like I need some professional help because what I'm doing right now is not working, or I have all this stuff that I just can't process or I can't get past. I need some help. There's nothing wrong with that. So 4 is just making sure that you end up hiring somebody or consulting with somebody or reaching out and asking for help when you need to, because I think you'd be really thankful once you did, because again, it's like so important to make sure you seek professional guidance if you're really going through it. The 5th thing is I would set achievable goals, small goals, and celebrate those small wins. And I say that because when you're looking to transform your life, what happens is you're like, it's going to take forever for me to get from point A to point B, or that I'm never going to get there because blah, 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 or that's 5 years is a long time, or whatever the excuse is, you future trip. And it's because you're focused on the bigger picture too much. And I think when you can really like narrow it down and say, okay, in the next like week, here's what I want to accomplish. Today, I want to get that 10-minute walk in. Today, I want to call that person I'm supposed to talk to. Today, I'm going to fill out those job applications. Today, I'm going to whatever, right? And tomorrow, same thing. Next day, same thing. And then you start to stack those things because now you're proving to yourself that you believe in yourself and you're developing self-trust, which I think is really important. Because now you're teaching yourself that like, hey, that the person before wasn't following through. The person before wasn't a person of their word. Now I am. And now I'm proving to myself that I can follow through. And that builds confidence. That builds self-esteem. It builds hope, because now you're starting to get some momentum going and building some equity in your transformation that it's going to start to stack up over time, right? Like you hear a lot about compounding interest. I think there's so many stats that it's like the people who invest a little bit early on in their life, they come out way more ahead than someone who starts a lot later and invests more, right? So it's kind of the same thing. It's like start small, let those things compound over time, and just watch how much your life will change. And I think you just got to set things that are maintainable and achievable. And that's going to be very individualistic. Like it's a very personal thing, because what's small to me might be big to other people or small to others, whatever, but you have to find what works for you. And so I think getting really granular and simple and breaking it down on a day-by-day basis kind of helps you stay focused on the present moment. Like, what is it that I need to do today? And then build off of that tomorrow. And then maybe if you want to, like, set some goals that are like a month out, 3 months out, and then reverse engineer. right? That could be something that works too, where it's like, okay, in 90 days, I want to be here, but it's not 90 days, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's 90 days, I want to lose 20 pounds. And here's the micro goals in between that I need to celebrate. That first pound, that first 5 pounds, right? You see where I'm going with this. And then you break down like what you need to do on a day by day basis from there. So it's not just like I need to lose 20 pounds in 90 days. That's the kind of the macro goal, but then it's these micro goals and micro wins that you need to achieve and celebrate along the way. That's how you build real momentum and transformation. That's how you do it, is exactly those things. It's setting these goals, achieving them, and celebrating them. Like, man, I'm so proud of myself. That's how you build self-confidence. That's how you rebuild your self-esteem. That's how you help get yourself out of this place where you feel like you can't achieve anything, right? So it's so important. And I share these 5 things, and I could have probably shared a lot more, but I speak from the heart. And these are the 5 that just came to me naturally of, if I were to start over and I wanted to dramatically change things in a month, in 30 days, and give myself a good chance of transforming my life, here's exactly what I would do. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing more solo content. So if you want to hear more topics covered, please comment in the comments below with suggested topics. And once again, thank you everyone for your support. It means a lot. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one.